Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at duct routing preferences. In the last video we looked at plumbing routing preferences. Ductwork isn't going to be much different. Just wanted to put this out there for anybody who does HVAC and duct only design. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to type in DT for ductwork. And I started with a out-of-the-box Revit mechanical template. And it came preloaded with all these duct systems, the oval duct system, rectangular duct system, and round duct system, which is fantastic. We just want to alter them, and I'll show you why. No matter if you're on the engineering side or 3D modeling side, you want to make sure that you have accurate fittings in there. So even if you're on the engineering side, you want to make sure that what you're drawing is going to be feasible in the field, or at least as close as possible to make it easy on the contractors and reduce those RFIs. Let's take a look at this mitered elbow slash taps, and I'll show you what the problem is. We've got 24 by 18. Middle elevation up here is 9 feet. And we're just going to draw here a couple of fittings, and we're going to go at 90, and we're going to do 245s. Obviously, a 90-degree fitting and a 45-degree fitting are two different things. So it's putting the same thing in, and if you click on that 90, it's showing a mitered elbow, which is actually for these 45s. And if you drop down, I've already loaded this in, but I'll show you how I loaded that in. But anyway, out of the box, there is no 90-degree elbow. It's everything you see here minus that rectangular elbow. So what you have to do is load that in and go to Insert, Load Family, and let's just go to all results real quick and show you. If you come down to duct and duct fittings, and we're on rectangular, so let's look at elbows. And I loaded in, there's two different ones here. You want to make sure you load in the double vein thickness, or double vein elbow. Single vein, I'm not sure if I've ever seen that. Very rarely if I have, so I always use the double vein. So anyway, load that in. As you can see, I already loaded mine in, so just hit load. It's going to bring it right on in, and what you're going to do is select on that duct, edit type, and then routing preferences right here under fittings. We're going to click edit, and we're going to what I put 2 in here for was to show you that it won't change it for you. Revit, just like if you watch the plumbing video, Revit for some reason does not let you kind of go between the two. You have to select it and change it. I'll show you here in a minute, but I wish it would let you switch between different fittings for multiple different reasons. Same in plumbing. But anyway, the mitered elbow is what was showing up because it was the top one. Let's get rid of that. And this is that mitered double thickness that we loaded in. Tap, regular takeoff. Again here, I would load in a shoe tap. So let's go back here and let's see fittings. And does he have tabs and shoe tab, rectangular tab, radius tab, rectangular takeoff, rectangular takeoff, beveled. Okay. I would call it, I think the one that I have loaded in is called a shoe tab. We'll go with beveled. So let's load that in. This is great because I can show you how to load that in. Now let's click on that, back to edit type, back to routing preferences, and let's change our takeoff to that beveled. Like I said, I have a shoe tap. We'll see what this one looks like. But you'll want to find yourself a shoe tap to take off of that has a damper, optional damper, and we'll get to dampers here in a little bit on the round duct. So let's say OK. Apply OK. Now the first thing I want to show you is about these elbows here. Like I said, this elbow is really a mitered elbow, and we loaded in our rectangular mitered elbow. So let's click that. But the problem is, even when you do that, for some reason, and Revit should know this, but the thread on the elbow, virtually impossible to get to 1 inch. Those guys can cut it in the field that small. A shop cannot do it that small. It really should be 6 inch you can come in here and just go shoulder length 6 inch, and then you have to do that for every single time you put that fitting in. What I would do is click on it, go to edit family. Up here in the upper left, you got properties. Click on family types. Let me bring this over here, and then I would change that shoulder length to 6 inch. Now sometimes you want a 6 inch and a 4 inch or something. You can add another parameter here if you want to have two different shoulder lengths. I'm not going to get into that right now, but let's just change that to 6 inch. That way when we're drawing in real time, we've got an accurate dimension for what that elbow is going to be. So let's load into the project. I would recommend saving your fitting somewhere. I'm not going to save it because I already have mine loaded in. So load into project 2, okay, and I do not want to save it, and we'll overwrite. Now when I draw, oops, I didn't put the minor elbows, tabs, edit, routing. Forgot to tell you. I could have sworn I did that. No, I didn't hit apply there. All right, so now and it puts it in there with that 6-inch throat. Now, the problem with Revit is that you can't do anything to get the same system to have different fittings there. We obviously don't want turning vanes in that. They're not going to be 90-degree mitered elbows. They're going to be those rectangular elbow miter that we were looking at before. And again, those throats are not realistic. You have to do it by type on these. Yeah, you got to do it by type. I mean, that shoulder's got to be, I would assume, probably 4 inches. Maybe 2 inches is good, but we're going to make it 4. So there's two different ways you can do that. You can select on and change it like we just did there. The other option is to set up a completely different, go in here, say edit type, duplicate, say 45 degree, and then it's also going to have tabs on it, let's just say. So now we've got a separate system completely set up, and if we want to draw duct work, we got to change it to, so now we want to make sure we're on that mitered 45 degree that we just set up. And then if we go draw duct work, boom, boom. Did we forget to put the right one in? Yep, we forgot to change that. So let's change that back to mitered. Sorry about that. Boom, boom. And then, actually what we could have done was this. And now once we connect it, now we've got the right fittings in there. So what you could do is, let's just say you're drawing a system and you want to start out with 90s. You got your mitered elbow taps selected, and then that's already going to put a elbow in there for us. And now we switched it to 45 degree taps if we want to do a 45 next. 45. Now here, let's say we're going to go back to 90. We're going to go ahead and change that back to mitered elbows. Come across. It's going to put the right one in there because of this duct. And then now we're going to have the correct elbow going up. Two different ways of doing it if you feel like switching back and forth, or if you just want to draw all of them in. You got that. And then that wasn't quite a 45, but anyway, you can come in here and select them and just really quickly change it like that. Whatever's easiest for you. But anyway, so let's now look at the taps that we set up. And you always want to make sure you hit inherit elevation. I'm guilty of forgetting to do that quite a bit. Not sure. Somebody even commented, can't believe that's not a default, or something over here you could select. This should be a default. We're going to be inheriting elevation 99.99% of the time. Anyway, rant over, inherit elevation, and we are going to do, we got our taps, and we got our inherit elevation. Let's change this. Let's say we got 12 by 12 coming off of it. We'll change that right up here in the top. And now look at this. We got to select inherit elevation again. Revit, fix that. All right, so now boom, and now look, we put a shoe tap in there, and it's got the shoe tap. This one probably doesn't have. It doesn't. I'm gonna show when we get to the round duct. I'm gonna show you about taps with dampers. If you go on mine, this is my setup. If I go to, see, I almost forgot to hit in here. If I go here, mine's gonna have the option to turn that volume damper on and off. So you're going to want that option. These out of the box ones, for whatever reason, don't have it. I'm not going to dive deep into that for this particular video. So now you can see that we've got that tap set up with our shoe tap that we looked at a minute ago. Now let's look at our round duct. Let's come down here to taps. And what I'm going to do is edit type. And I want one that's going to have conical taps. So I'm just going to name it conical taps. Okay, and if you look, I may have already loaded in tabs. There is no conical tap preloaded in, which is the most standard tap off of a rectangular duct that I see. So what you have to do is you have to go into Insert, Load Family, go back to Fittings because we need round, come down to round, and look at your taps. And here is going to be another thing I'm going to show you that bothers me. I cannot believe out of the box it doesn't have a button for damper on and off. Anyway, we're going to load one in with a damper, and I'll very quickly show you how you can fix that to add a button to turn it on and off. So let's load this one in. This is a round takeoff conical with a damper. We can load it right into our project like that, which makes it really nice. And now let's go back here and let's go to our, we must not have saved it, but anyway, so conical tabs, okay, edit. And now for our junction right here, we got tap already. We want to set that to that conical and say okay, apply, okay. And now we're on our conical tap. Let's make this, I don't know, 10 inch. And let's bring it, again, inherit elevation. And now we got our conical tap in there with our volume damper. One nice thing about it is you can adjust the takeoff length. I think I usually set mine to 10 inches. Give myself a little bit of room, make sure we've got plenty of room for that damper. I'll show you very, very quickly, and then I can do a deeper dive into how to completely fix it. But if you want to add a button to get rid of that damper, you can click on the fitting, come up here to Edit Family, go to a elevation view. I would just go to the front view, and you can see it, and I'll show you in a second, but you can see you've got all these reference lines. But we're going to click on everything that's part of that damper that we want to get rid of. We're going to select it, and then right over here under graphics, visible, we're going to click this little box beside, and we're going to add a parameter. And we're going to make it an instance, and we are going to call it volume damper. We're going to put this under mechanical. Okay. Now, okay, now that's that piece. We want this piece, that we really want all of this. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to select there, and we're going to make everything volume damper. And perfect. So now we're going to load it in. Again, I'm not going to save it, but we're going to load it into our project. Override existing. Now you can select on it, and now you can see you've got a button right here under mechanical for volume damper. You can turn that off. Now, this didn't move. I didn't want to spend too much time here, but the ductwork didn't move when that damper got removed. If you look at my damper right here, and we go to edit, excuse me, let's just look at it right here. If you look at mine and I click on volume damper, everything moves with it. So the thing is that you have to have it, and again, I can do a deeper dive showing you how to fix this, but all of these reference planes and dimensions are locked so that everything moves together. So if I come in here and just do it even in here and click on that and apply, everything's moving because it's locked together. I'll do a deeper dive if you want, but anyway, that's why it's moving in my template, and it's not moving here because I didn't spend time to set up all the reference planes and everything. But anyway, that's how you get a duct system set up. Load in, add any fittings that you think you may need. Check with your local mechanical shop manager or field guys, and make sure you get these dimensions on these throats and a lot of these dimensions correct, even on the engineering side, because it helps a ton to make sure that everything is going to work out the way that you want it to. Anyway, that's what I'm going to show you in this particular video. So thanks for joining me, and hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.